Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for this youth panel discussion. I cannot tell you how excited I am. I was in a session earlier facilitating, and I was like, yes, you have to come to the youth panel. So excited. My name is Maddie Roman Scott. I'm a Safe Schools coordinator, and I work for the Center for Safe Schools and Communities. I've been here forever, like 3 months, so super excited. Today's conversation is centered on student voice, specifically how young people experience bullying, cyberbullying, online safety, and school climate in real and meaningful ways. The goal of this panel is not to speak about youth, but to listen to them. Their perspectives help inform how schools, families, communities, and policymakers can better support student well-being, safety, and connection both online and in school. We know that young people navigate complex online environments every day, from social media and gaming platforms to messaging apps and digital communities. My daughter likes to say I have no idea because I was born in the 1900s. She's not wrong. This panel will explore both challenges and the positives of those spaces, and what students believe actually help when it comes to prevention, response, and support. We are honored, incredibly honored, to be joined by two individuals who bring deep experience, compassion, and a strong commitment to youth voice and school climate. First, I'd like to introduce Mr. Samir Hinduja, Dr. Samir Hinduja. Dr. Samir Hinduja is a professor of the School of Criminology and Criminal Justice at Florida Atlantic University and the co-director of the Cyberbullying Research Center. He is an internationally recognized for his groundbreaking work on bullying, cyberbullying, and the risks and harms associated with emerging technologies, as well as the protective factors that help youth thrive. He is also affiliated with the Berkman Klein Center for Internet and Safe Society at Harvard University, where he contributes to research on the intersection of technology, sex society, and youth well-being. For more than 20 years, he looks really young, doesn't he? Let's give him a round of applause. Dr. Hinduja has worked with educators, parents, mental health professionals, youth, technology companies, and policymakers around the world to promote technology use, healthy online communities, and student well-being. His research has been widely cited and featured in national and international media, and he has advised organizations ranging from the White House and the United Nations to school systems and youth-serving organizations. We are so grateful to have your insight and experience in helping guide today's conversation. Also, cannot forget to mention and introduce our incredible Leah Galkowski. Leah has served at the Center for Safe Schools for more than 25 years, so just a little bit more than me, and brings extensive experience supporting schools in bullying prevention, school climate improvement, and student safety. She is a certified trainer for Alveus Bullying Prevention Program, Safe States Curriculum, and I Can Problem Solve, and served as both a state leader for OBPP and a technical assistance consultant. She is the managing coordinator for the Alveus Bullying Prevention Program. Leah's work is grounded in practical, school-based strategies and a deep understanding of how climate, relationships, and student voice shape safe and supportive learning environments. Her long-standing commitment to schools and students makes her an invaluable part of this discussion and an invaluable part of the team. Together, Dr. Hinduja and Leah will help facilitate a conversation that centers youth experiences, amplifies student perspective, which I'm so excited about, and encourages honest dialogue about what is working, what isn't working, and what could be done better. To our student panelists, I am so excited to have you. Did I mention that before? Thank you for yes. Thank you for being willing to share your thoughts, your experiences, and your ideas. Your voices matter. Let me say that again. Your voices matter. And we appreciate your openness and courage to contributing to this conversation. With that said, I'm going to drop the mic and let's get started. Thank you, everybody.
Good afternoon. So we do want to dive right in. Let me also say that I'm pretty happy with how the morning's gone. I feel like the Bowmans did a great job with their keynote, and the concurrent sessions were very, very solid and fascinating. And then, you go to a conference, you always wonder about the food, but I'm happy with the food. And hopefully you didn't miss that dessert spread back there because it's really good. And then, please don't hesitate to get up and grab some more food while you're listening to our student panel. So I want to dive into the questions, but before I do that, I want to turn it over to Ms. Dana Bowser, and she's from Chester Upland School District, and I want her to tell us a little about herself as well as the students before she helps us introduce the students.
Absolutely. Good morning. No, it's not morning. It feels like morning. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Before I get started, I just want to thank the Center for Safe Schools, the Center for Schools and Communities, and a big shout out to our superintendent, Dr. Momeen, who's here in the audience, as well as all of our chaperones and staff, and everybody that made this possible, because our student voice is so important. So I am the Director of Student Success and Engagement at the Chester Upland School District. Although I play a role in central office, it's very important to us as a district to have that face-to-face contact with our students, to hear from our students, and to progress with our students at the table, to hear what they have to say and do something about it. And I'm really, really excited. One of the things that we say is connection before curriculum. Building relationships is so extremely important. We never know what people are going through. We have to walk in their shoes, and we have to be able to feel what they are feeling. And that goes for our students and for our staff that we work with as well, because we never know what type of day they were having, and then we expect them to come into the classroom and to step foot in the classroom and focus on academics. But if there's so much going on within them, socially and emotionally, then how can they perform academically? And we're gonna hear a lot about that today. So that's a little bit about me, but these are the stars of the show right here. And I just want to say I am so proud of each and every one of them. It is not easy to get up on a stage in front of people and talk authentically. And so we're really, really excited. And, let's give them our undivided attention and really, really try to listen and hear what they are saying and take their voices back and see what Samir was saying, how we can move forward with advocacy, policy, and everything else. So one more time, before they introduce themselves, let's give them a round of applause for being here. So what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna give them the opportunity to introduce themselves. They're gonna tell us their name, their grade, what school they're from, and maybe a little bit about themselves or a club or something in the school that they may represent, okay?
Hello, everyone. My name is Adam Salem. I'm the 9th grade president of STEM Academy. I'm very excited to speak to you all. This is my first time ever doing a panel, and I hope the rest of my peers are just as excited. I feel this is going to be a great experience for us, and thank you.
Hi, my name is Aya Jackson. I'm in 8th grade and I cheerlead, and I'm a little bit nervous.
Hello, my name is Ramaj. I'm the Vice President of Talk, Tribe of Cultures. I'm very excited to be here and meet everyone. I'm a freshman, 9th grade. That's about all.
Hello, everyone. My name is Adea Darden. I am the 12th grade president of Chester High School. I represent Tribe of Cultures. I am the treasurer, and yeah. My name is Kellyanne. I am a senior. I am the president of the Multicultural Committee at STEM Academy, and I am also the class representative for the seniors.
All right, let's dive in. So the first thing that I wanted to chat with our students about has to do with climate or culture. And when you and I think of climate or culture, we think of all of these elements such as feeling connected, connectedness, or feeling like you really belong. Also associated with climate are elements such as morale, student morale as well as staff morale. That matters. We know that from experience. I'm also thinking about peer respect. School safety is a part of climate, and even school spirit. And so we've got students who come from different schools and who represent different grade levels. I'd just like to hear some thoughts related to how they would honestly evaluate the climate, the environment, the social environment at their school. Is there work to be done? Do you feel like it's really solid because the educators are highly intentional about it? Do you feel like it's everyone just in survival mode trying to get through their days as we focus maybe disproportionately on academics and not so much on social and emotional learning? What's the story? Just chat with us about climate, environment, belongingness, connectedness amongst your student body, whether you speak about your peers or yourself or both.
So that's a very interesting question, and it's important to think about things such as that. If school is actually focusing on both things, not just one over the other. Personally, I feel connected, and my social environment is great because of hands-on learning. I'm a visual learner, right? And I love hands-on learning with a group of people. It feels connected. You feel like you can trust these people. It's great working together, experiencing something, and overall, I feel like the social side of it is amazing for learning.
That's good. So the takeaway for me is experiential learning, project-based learning, which sometimes gets elbowed out because maybe we're focused on preparing them for tests, and we don't really have a lot of room for that, but if we can just be a little bit more intentional about that, I think it'll go a long way. Anybody else?
I think that sometimes school feels like we're in like a survival mode in a way. We're rushed into things, and it's when we have each other as like peers and friends that we are able to feel connected through conversation and our differences. So yeah.
Well, as a quick follow-up, and then I'm going to turn it right back over to you. I'm curious, when you feel the most connected at school, both to peers as well as to adults, what does it take for a school to set that up beautifully for you?
I feel the most connected with my friends when we're doing like group work, talking, laughing at lunch, where we're all together talking and just laughing and gossiping, of course. But with teachers or staff is when when I feel like I am being heard. For example, during the summer, I have contacted Ms. Bowser for the multicultural committee. I asked her because I felt like in my school there wasn't enough representation of the Hispanics, and I spoke to her and she helped me out, and I felt like I was heard. I felt like I was important, and I felt like I was being valued. If she wouldn't have done it, I don't think I would have be here right now. I don't think like I will be happy where I was at. Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Can I hear the question one more time?
We were just wondering about when you felt the most connected at school, both to peers, you know, your age sort of, as well as to adults.
Right. So Talk, Tribe of Cultures, they really gave me a sense of belonging, connection, of course. Being in a community where there's people like me, I'm very antisocial personally. So being with a community that are somewhat everywhere, antisocial, also social, it really brought me into being more of a communicative person and learning other people. It brought out a different side of me that I haven't had before in leadership also. That's why I'm here now because of it, which I really appreciate. But yeah, Talk in general really gives me a connection, I guess, yeah.
So in relation to what you were just talking about, I want you to think about your favorite teacher or your favorite adult in the building, and we're not going to name any names. I want you to tell us what about that person makes them special. Why are they your person in the building?
Okay, so you said don't name names, but I think you'll be okay if I name him. Mr. Suarez, of course. He's really a great, funny, happy person, and he brings a lot of lively energy into me, and I really appreciate that. Yeah. So of course, Mr. Suarez is my favorite person at the school.
For me was for my freshman year teacher. She was always there for me. I could come, like if I go to class and I look down, she would always ask me, "Are you okay?" And if I lie to her, be like, "No," I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." She'd be like, "No." And she'll literally like sit down with me and just talk to me. And she's not there no more, but to this day, she still texts me once I'm here and there and asks me how I am, what are my plans for the future. So she's always been there for me. So yeah.
I feel that with my favorite teacher, I do have a mother, but there are certain things that I can tell my teacher that I can't really like explain to my mom. And I feel like close with her in the sense that I can ask her questions and she's like reactive. She answers me. She understands where I'm coming from because she's in the same like building that I am. She's in the district, the school. She understands what it's like to come across students my age, and it makes me feel comfortable to talk to her.
So a lot of the educators and adults here, they would say, I want to be available. I am available for my students. They know that my door's always open. They know that I'm happy to chat with them after class. What can you suggest to them to help them make it even more inviting for people to come chat with them and to share with them about what's going on in their life?
Don't just say it. You have to act upon it. You have to go up to the students and talk to them. Don't just say, "Oh, I'm open for you guys." No, go on one-on-one. Talk to them. Ask them how they're doing. Like, just asking them how they are, it goes a long way. And yeah.
Yeah, I agree with her. Being intentional. When you're intentional, it makes me feel like you really want to like hear my point of view. You want to know like how I feel.
The greatest way to make someone feel open is to make them smile. And I feel like that's just a big part of being social and open about your feelings.
And the reason why we're trying to promote these conversations is simply because over the last handful of years, as we know, our previous Surgeon General sent out multiple advisories focused on mental health of youth, struggling well-being amongst youth, the loneliness epidemic or loneliness crisis that we're seeing across the nation. And so with that in mind, can you speak to how educators have a role to play in your mental health and your well-being, and what does that look like tangibly, apart from, of course, the intentional conversations? Is there more that can be done?
Well, yes, I think so. Mr. Suarez had told me a story about this one kid that always wears his hat. And this one teacher came up to him and was like, didn't say good morning or anything like that. It was just, take the hat off, take it off. Why do you have the hat on? In my class, you know not to or whatever. And he was very upset that day because he had a lot going on at home, more than just schoolwork and stuff like that. He was trying to lift everything up on his back. And I could also relate to him in a sense. But Mr. Suarez himself talked to the student and got to know the student, and he sat the student down and the teacher down so the teacher could understand the student. And I think to me it was very important because the teacher also had more of an understanding of the student also and was like, oh wow, I didn't know you went through all that. Now I understand, I put myself into your shoes. I get that you're just a teen and it's hard for you. So in that sense, yeah.
Dina, in your role as a student, doing your student wellness work, all of us remember to some degree that it was hard growing up. Like adolescence was very, very difficult. But when we're in the moment, when we're in work mode, sometimes it's just tricky to put ourselves in the shoes of students. And so do you have any advice for educators along those lines?
I do, absolutely. I make it a point, as well as many of our staff do, as you can hear from the students, to really be intentional, good word, about connecting and forming relationships. It's really, really important, especially post-pandemic when we were all isolated and socialization. When I first started in Chester, I would intentionally, and Mr. Suarez took over this role, but even there are statistics that just by greeting students at the door, eye contact, face to face, will increase student engagement by at least 20% and decrease disruptive behavior by at least 9%. So think about it, and I gave them this analogy earlier. Being a teacher, being an educator, being in education is customer service, right? It's about being a sales consultant for your classroom. So when you walk into a store and you're greeted, hello, welcome to Bloomingdale's. What are you looking for today? Can I help you? Can I help you find something? It's the same thing when you walk into a classroom. How is a student going to feel when they walk into a classroom and the educator is buried behind the computer? Yes, I know, we have lesson plans, we have a million things to do, we're trying to respond to emails, but the most important thing at that particular moment is to make that connection, that eye contact. And at the district, we use the first 5, which is intentional relationship building that takes 5 minutes or less. We do SEL check-ins. We allow the students to talk to our staff in regards to things that don't pertain to the subject. Like, do you prefer peanut butter and jelly sandwiches or cereal for lunch when you don't have a lot? And it's funny because if I make that connection, right? If Ramaj and I are having a conversation and he likes peanut butter and jelly and so do I, the next time I see him, I'm gonna remember that. And so it's little things like that. It doesn't have to take a lot to make that initial connection. And how you grow together and how you continue and how those doors open. A simple compliment, a simple smile, a simple moment of gratitude and showing, empathy and kindness goes a really, really long way. So that's some of the things, in my role and that we do as a district to ensure our students' mental health.
I think one of the other things, and absolutely, I'll hand it right off to you, that we took the time to do this morning was learning your names and learning how to pronounce your name properly and giving you permission to tell me if I say it wrong. So I also think that's important too, right? My daughter has a difficult name, and I've always told her, and I'm telling all of you, that if I say it wrong, it's okay for you to correct me, and giving you that permission. Do adults in your schools do that with you? Do they give you permission to correct them when they say your first name wrong or your last name wrong, or that type of thing?
I was going to say the exact same thing, because if you don't know my name, then there's a part of me that you won't know and will never know unless you do.
Is there something that adults think that teenagers do that's silly, but it has a lot of meaning for you? For example, I think about the sharing of memes. A lot of adults, they just sort of like make fun of that or poo-poo it, like there's not any sort of purpose in sharing memes or laughing about memes. But I remember when I was growing up on Monday morning, it was cool to make sure that you had watched Saturday Night Live the previous weekend so you can chat about like the skits. And it was just a form of banter surrounding those skits, and it was a form of cultural currency that was exchanged. And that's kind of what's happening with memes. So I feel like adults don't understand memes, they don't understand the value of it, even though they should, even though it's part of socialization. And is there any other things that come to your mind that adults just think are silly, but is just so valuable and meaningful to youth and to teenagers?
The TikTok dances, and yes, memes. It's just a way for us to like connect with each other and relate to each other. So yeah.
I'm sorry. Also, like expanding on our humor, because teenagers and Gen Z, we have like our own type of humor that adults don't really understand sometimes, and it also has to do with social media that also influences our humor. So sometimes it's like important if you just sit back and you listen to us and you joke around with us and you start to understand our humor, so we can also get a better connection between the teacher and the student. Yeah, thank you.
I can say for like stickers and memes, I feel like there's times where, for example, recently I was going through a tough time, telling my best friend what happened, and she was sending me memes. I was crying, and usually I would start laughing and cracking up because they really I don't know, they just make it funny. But I was supposed to, I forgot. There's like this famous saying, like the 6'7", and now listen, I know it gets annoying, but there's times where like I just pop it out and then like it's because I find it funny and it makes people laugh because it's like so random. It's like, but y'all, 6'7". You gotta do it once, once in a while.
I love that.
Going off of that, hello?
He's unmuting it over there.
Oh, okay. My bad. Going off of that, really speaking about slang, I know some of the educators really have to struggle with these annoying tendencies to keep saying the same thing over and over, but it provides a sense of unity between us, something that allows you to group each other and speak about something, and you always know what it means, or that's something unique to us, right? And I feel like slang in that nature is just a beautiful thing. And I know some of it. Like speaking about 6'7", I'm sorry to say that. Yeah, I know some of it is like really out of the ordinary, but it really provides a sense of unity to us.
So, pardon? Oh yes, please.
I got a question. So when we give y'all back what y'all give to us, why do y'all laugh at us?
Cause y'all, like when y'all say it, like y'all are old and very young.
And it's about context. The way you use it. We're gonna laugh at you if you don't use it right.
So we're going to talk more about the use of technology in order to meet needs and to assist when growing up is hard. We'll get to that in just a little bit. But another question that I have for you is thinking about just like coping in life with heavy stuff, maybe at home. Apart from maybe opening up your phone and scrolling to distract yourself, are there any coping skills that you've developed that where it's like, yeah, I mean, this really helps me, even if others might think that it's not really a big deal?
Yeah, taking a break from like everything that's going on. So like no matter where I'm at, if I am getting overstimulated or overwhelmed with something, I like to take a break, just clear my mind, breathe in, breathe out. We'll go around a little bit and go back to what I was doing, like just charging up my battery in a way, I guess.
And I say prayer because I'm faith oriented, and I believe that there are some things that there are a lot of things I can tell God that I cannot tell other people. So then He will understand. So.
I would say probably cleaning. I like to clean, and when my mind is all over the place and it's really dirty, I like to clean, and I feel way better about how I'm feeling.
Just real quick, I would really want to thank my middle school math teacher. It was the first person who ever spoke to me about mindfulness, and that's really stuck with me ever since. And something simple that I don't know if it would help other people, but something that I can do anywhere, anytime at all would be box breathing. And it just helps me.
And when you're taking this break or doing these things, are we stepping away from screen? Are we going outside? Are we inside? What does it look like when you're taking that box breathing or moving away, taking a step back?
Sometimes when I take the breaks, I get off of social media. Like I literally deactivate all of my accounts and I'm just off my phone. And it's like sometimes I can be overstimulated and not on my phone, but when I'm on my phone, it makes it worse. But when I'm in school, I would ask if I could take a 5-minute break, walk around the school, take a breather because sometimes it gets too stressful. Yeah.
Sorry, I would like to add on to it because I agree with her, but at the same time, I like disagree in a way because scrolling on social media also it gives me like a laughing joke when I'm upset. I know there's a lot of older people in here, so y'all probably got like Facebook or something that y'all like scroll on. Yeah, y'all got like Facebook that y'all like scroll on. And you have all the funny things, and we have our funny things like TikTok and stuff. But yeah, it can be good and bad in certain senses. Yeah.
There are times where I do step away from my phone because I don't know about you guys, but sometimes being on the phone gets boring. So yeah, I do step away from my phone to get in touch with reality.
I agree. I agree what he said because when my grandma be mad at me, she be going right on Facebook, and when I'm tired of people, I like to scroll too. I don't like to when I'm overwhelmed. I don't like socialize. I don't want to talk right now. I just want to do what I want to do.
Sorry. Occasional minion meme, yeah. It's the dopamine. It helps you get away from the other stress chemicals, and it's really relaxing sometimes. I understand both sides. It's great to moderate and keep your phone in moderation so it doesn't feel overused, so you keep the same feeling, because otherwise you would lose the feeling over time.
Quick follow-up. What are some major misunderstandings that adults or educators have about you all? So like fill in the blank, like a major misunderstanding that y'all have about me or about us is blank.
I think that most adults believe that social media makes you aggressive. I'm not aggressive. I'm not. So yeah.
Something that I feel like some teachers would misunderstand about us would be that we're not procrastinating. We're not, well, most of us, we're not lazy. It's a feeling of being burnt out. Many times during like testing weeks, teachers will still give the same amount of work, and it starts to feel hard. You don't know what to feel. You feel burnt out, and it starts to affect your grades, your personality. That's something they wouldn't understand.
So we talked a little bit about that mental safety and keeping ourselves mentally healthy. What about physical safety? So even in our classrooms or in the hallways, in places like this, or waiting for the bus, what are the strategies that you all have that you've either developed on your own or had somebody help you develop? What are some of those strategies to keep yourselves physically safe?
Well, we all know we're addicted to our phones, but I feel like once you're outside or environment that you don't know, being on your phone is really harmful. Because you don't know who's around you, who's next to you, who's behind you, and you don't know what people's intentions are. They could look like the nicest person, they could smile at you, but you really don't know what their true intentions are.
Sometimes like if I'm physically or if I don't know, if I don't know where my surroundings are, I have anxiety, so I get very scared in a way, and I don't like being in places where I don't know who anybody is, where this place is, and I just ball out sometimes. But I guess I'm sorry, I can't remember what I was about to say. My strategies are normally my phone, because my phone is like a safe space for me in a way. So I get that it's not safe to be on your phone when you're in dangerous places or you don't know where anything is, but at the same time, it's like my plan B. Like if I don't have anywhere to go or if I don't know where I'm at, I look at my phone. Oh, I know where I'm at. I have people that are around me that can help me out. I have apps that I can get like a Uber or a ride to go back home or a GPS. So I know where I'm at. So yeah.
Would you say that physical safety is compromising yours or your peers' ability to focus at school, or it's not really a big deal because of all the technological solutions and all the monitoring and supervision and cameras? What's the story there?
Technology isn't like they said, it's not like a safe thing. It's faulty. It can make mistakes, so you can't really rely on technology to keep you safe.
Anybody else? One of the takeaways, we were talking about misconceptions or misunderstandings. I have in the past given youth less credit than they deserve, and what we're seeing here is that they have a good mind on their shoulders. They think about taking a break from their phone. They think about being physically aware when they're in certain locations where safety is an issue. And so I would just want all of us to sort of redouble our efforts to give them a little bit more credit instead of just assuming that, okay, they're juveniles or they're teenagers and we have just the fountains of wisdom to give them. I feel like y'all are growing up really, really well. So I do want to shift into a conversation about technology use, and I'll first start off with just general use. What does overuse look like? Some adults think that your phone is like oxygen to you. Is that an overstatement? Is that an understatement? Does it depend on the day? Does it depend on whether you're feeling super lonely today or very confident and secure the other day? Like, tell us about your usage and dependence even and attachment. I don't want to use the word addiction, but where are you all at? What are you seeing amongst your peers? Just some thoughts on that.
I could say that we use it a lot. We use a lot that it gets to a point where we're at lunch and we don't even socialize with each other. We're at lunch and we're on the phones and not talking. And it's like the phones are here forever. If it breaks, buy a new one. But your friend could die at any moment. And you're gonna miss the opportunity to talk to your friend just for a phone, just to watch a video they go watch later. So I feel like it is overused, and it also gets to a point where I've seen that kids are more on their phones and they're not learning. I know that I've seen that a report said that kids don't even know how to read or know their shapes because they're on the phones, they're on their iPads. And it's like we're abusing the privilege of having a phone in the internet. Yeah.
Speaking about usage, playing as the other side, away from teachers saying we use it too much, using it moderately like I do would be acceptable. I feel as if many friendships, many connections that would be impossible without the phone, without technology, that's just sad. I've met so many new people online, so many friendships, well, exaggeration, but many people that you've never spoken to, or these connections that would have never happened before are from online and from technology. It just really goes to how you use it and what you're allowed to do or not to.
So talk about some of the risks and concerns that you all have about being online. I mean, we can talk about what we think are the concerns, but maybe what are those areas that you're concerned about when you're online, or even maybe, without being too detailed, some of those things that you've experienced.
A concern for me would be talking to strangers online. I avoid it like the plague because you have no idea who you're talking to on the other screen and what their intentions are towards you. So, yeah.
Also, to piggyback on it a little bit, I was, I guess, like a victim of talking to strangers because it wasn't a good outcome of what happened from me talking with strangers. I really think at the time my mom should just took my phone and locked it up at that point because it was a lot going on through a cell phone that shouldn't have been happening at the time, especially because I was so young when it happened and I wasn't like really like aware that it was happening when it happened. But yeah, I guess it wraps it up.
One of the biggest risks I can say is how much it influences because on TikTok or on or whatever social media, we can see like people, for example, a young kid can see somebody smoking and think it's okay at their age. And they be like, oh, no, they doing it, I'm gonna do it too. So like we see stuff that people are doing, we can see like a shooting and then they wanna do it too. Because they see it being posted, oh, it's a cool trend. When deep down it's really harmful for everyone.
Dana, when students come into your office, would you say that the predominant number of issues has to do with group chats or hateful posts or rumors, or can you just share a little bit of your experience in terms of what comes across your desk, so to speak?
Sure. There's been a lot of issues that have come across from, home life to social media was a big one. When we do our positive action lunch groups, so one of the conversations we have is about that. One of the things that we were seeing is that a lot of, physical aggression and fights can be avoided, if there wasn't that instigation on social media. So there have been, students that have gone live or, people in the community and things of that nature. It happens everywhere. And the interesting thing, and we were just talking about this earlier, is the people that are going live or that are posting things may not even necessarily mention a person's name. But it's almost like when you see those memes on social media or somebody posts something, you take it personally, right? How many of us have ever done that before where you see something and you're like, they're talking about me, but it may not even be about you. But it depends on how we deal with it. And so one of the things that we really, really try to do is be proactive rather than reactive, right? So, and it all stems from connecting and building relationships again. If each of our students here and everyone in the room and every one of our students has that one adult that they feel comfortable that they can go to and talk to about a potential issue, whether it has to do with safety or school climate or bullying or anything that's going on, and they approach that adult with it as opposed to acting upon it, right? One of our curriculums, which is positive action, teaches the thoughts, actions, and feelings circle. So it goes in that order, like how we think, how are we gonna act, and then the self-reflection piece, how did it feel? How could I have changed that afterwards? And so it's really interesting to see how things have changed. Of course, you're always still gonna have those situations where the impulsivity kicks in and we need to, that famous phrase, look before you leap, don't dive straight in, think about your consequences before you act is really, really important. But, the social media thing, I see both of their sides. It could be a positive thing. Adam was talking about a story earlier where he met somebody and they became really great friends. But you also have the scared side of it where you don't know who you're talking to. You can be catfished, or somebody can say that they're a teenager and they're an 87-year-old person that wants to just connect with somebody. You just never know. And so it's really, really important that as adults in these buildings, regardless of our roles, is that we take the time to hear and to listen. And based off of what we're hearing and listening, allow our students to be a seat at the table. Really listen to what they have to say and then progress from there. Because if we're acting upon how we feel and what we think is happening in the schools, but they're right there up close and personal and they experience everything that's going on in schools, in the community, at home with their families, and they share that with us, we can better gauge how to move the trajectory in whatever direction it needs to go.
So we've talked significantly, I think, about stranger danger and, meeting, being catfished and is that still a thing? That's still the right term? Okay. Yeah. What about when bad things happen from our peers? So, bullying or mean content or, what do we do? Or Or what's your experience with that? What are, and the other half of that is what works to help you either deal with that or prevent that from happening?
I mean, do you deal with harassment at all online, or is it just something where you're like, it's part of growing up? I mean, I just have to try to let it roll off my shoulders, even if it does deeply bother me.
I'm playing like online games. I'm always on my games. So playing online games, there is people that are like blatantly disrespectful and they don't really care at all. Like because they're hiding behind a screen, they can do whatever they want. They can say whatever they want without any consequences, which I guess there's really nothing I can do about it because it's them and they have their own free will. I just don't think it's right at all.
Is there anything that adults can help you as it relates to online conflict or drama or cruelty?
I think it's very important. I think it's very important for all adults that they moderate their kids' devices, especially like certain apps and stuff, or even don't give them access to the apps. Some people say it's a part of growing up, like experiencing the world or whatever, but I don't think all children should experience it in such a way.
Did you pester your own parents to get a phone earlier than you probably should, or social media or a gaming console earlier than you should have?
Yeah.
So we just have to listen a little bit more to remember that they do want the best for us. I'd like to drill down to another specific online harm that continues to make headlines. The FBI has sent out multiple advisories about it, especially as it relates to young boys, and that's sextortion. And so we're seeing, unfortunately, not the majority of youth, but a significant number of them very willing to send or receive nudes, and they dismiss it as a form of flirting or a way to deepen intimacy or normalized by the culture because they see their favorite athlete or celebrity or even politicians do it. And so with so many youth disarmed to go ahead and sexually experiment in this way in order to be curious, it's unfortunately leading to these massive harms. And we have a research center and we receive help requests every single week from targets who are youth. And the sad thing is that they reach out for help after they've already paid a little bit of money to the extorter, where they're saying, I'm out of money, and this person is threatening to send my nudes everywhere. I don't have any more money left, and I can't reach out to my parents. What do I do? Is there any way that you can help me? So I guess I want to hear from you all. We want to give youth the benefit of the doubt, right? We want to believe that they can handle these issues and block or mute or report when some weird person, let's say, is maybe asking for nudes, or they try not to even send them in the first place, even when they're flirting, because they know of these outcomes. So to boil it down, is it just youth who think they're invincible and nothing's ever going to really bite them in the butt, and so they participate in these ways? Or what can we do about it?
I think they should start to think before they do. Like, think about your actions and think about what will happen after the fact before you actually initiate with whatever it is or any like nudity that you want to participate in. I don't think it's good at all. I actually think it's disgusting. Me personally, I'm sorry, that's a very nasty word, but I don't agree with it in any sense. So if you were to always think and take a minute and it's like just sit back and be like, is this really what I should be doing right now? Is this really worth the doing? Like, should I actually be here in this situation at this moment?
And I think that at this teen in this generation, we think it's trendy, it's cool, but no matter who it is, it could be like your significant other, and if they promise you they won't send it, at the end of the day, it's getting sent somewhere. Somebody gonna see it. It could be in their phone. Somebody could go in their phone and they just see it. I feel like no matter what, it's gonna be shown to at least more than one person, which is why I'm super against it. I don't want to see it. I'm not saying nothing. So yeah.
And what is on the phone, it's on the phone, and it's gonna stay on the phone. There's no way to get rid of it really, besides deleting. But it's always in the clouds of the network or whatever. So it's always gonna be there even when you don't even when you regretted doing it, you like tried to forgive yourself for it. You thought it was a long past by, like it was just one little mistake that you made. It's going to be there haunting you.
So I think one of my questions, I'm sorry, I think one of my questions then is, if you had your best friend or one of your friends come to you and say, oh my gosh, I did this, it was the dumbest thing I've ever done, we can't tell anybody, I can't do anything about it, I'm just gonna have to pay or just live with that being out there. What is your advice to them? What would you say?
Tell an adult. Tell an adult. Like I how can I help you? Like if I have no idea what to do either, tell someone who knows.
I had a friend like this actually experienced this, and I would say just tell an adult because it will always be out there. And you know, sometimes I don't think that they think it's going to be out there because some people be peer pressured. They feel like they have to do it, and they don't. But yeah, I just feel like you should just tell an adult, tell your mom, your dad, whoever.
I'm not really sure, but I believe blackmailing someone is illegal, and sharing pictures of somebody else's nudity is also illegal. So if it gets to that point, of course, call the cops. Let them know, write a report.
Yeah, that's good. And just for everyone, law enforcement definitely needs to get involved. And if you struggle getting a positive response from your local law enforcement department, then reach out to the county. They typically have a computer crimes unit and can assist towards that end. Additionally, there's more and more technical solutions. I'll be brief here, but the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children has developed a tool. It's called Take It Down. And you have to download something to your phone. Well, let's say I took a picture of myself that was in the nude. It would create a mathematical hash of that image that's on my phone against a personal image. And then let's say I sent it to an ex who then released it out into the wild. That hash, that mathematical string would then be shared with all of the social media platforms so they can quickly search for it on their networks and pull it down, as well as preemptively keep it from being posted if someone out there was able to post it, because again, the image is sort of boiled down into a string, because it's just ones and zeros, as you know. So that's a cool technology, which a user would feel safe to just install on their phone and then be able, if there's nudes out there of them, to try to keep them from being distributed further. So there are solutions, but if we don't know what's going on, then we can't help you. And so your point about talking to an adult is just massive.
Can I also add that I would like to say that it's not worth it, especially since you have no idea whether you'll spend the rest of your life with that person or not. So.
Absolutely. It's hard with your first love, though, right? Or your first crush. It's like, we're going to be together for forever. I want to also ask about bans. You might know that in Australia, they have a countrywide ban. And if you're under 16, you can't be on a majority of social media sites. And they did a lot of research, and they said this is the absolute best possible thing to do. And in schools, we're seeing, maybe not in your schools, but in some schools, we're seeing more and more cell phone bans. And in some states, for example, Utah, Texas, there's curfews where youth cannot be on their phones and on social media after 10 p.m. on a Friday, let's say. Until 10 p.m. on a Friday, whatever the curfew is. And so I would love to hear your thoughts, because it feels like you are self-aware enough to understand that there is overuse taking place. Would you want the authority to be taken out of your hands, and you want these laws actually because they'll keep you from overusing? Or do you feel like these bans are actually preventing positives that accrue to you from social media, apart from just memes and laughing?
I don't mind the bans, except for in school. I think that it's important that we do have our phones in school in case of emergencies. And let's just say the school can't reach my parents. I can. So, yeah.
So it's like a safety blanket for you.
Yeah.
We've actually talked a lot about the negatives associated with social media and even your cell phone. What are some of those positives other than the safety net being attached to that person who cares about you? What are some of the other positive experiences or information or connections that you've had as a result of either social media or just having a cell phone close to you?
A positive, I can say that it can definitely entertain me. Like, there's times where we just bored, and that's why we're on our phone for like hours, watching TikToks, Netflix, or whatever. So I feel like it's just for entertainment. I mean, sometimes I don't use it, for schoolwork, where, ChatGPT, y'all, but sometimes, because sometimes we don't know the work and we gotta use that help, so, yeah.
I agree with the entertainment part because nowadays there are not a lot of children at the park anymore because we're all afraid of something. Like, we're afraid that we might get kidnapped or something bad might happen. So that's where entertainment comes from on our phones.
Also, on what Ada said, I feel like it's also important that you go out and actually explore the world. You can't always be afraid because it's important that you get, I guess, the physical touch of the outside world and go touch some grass, as some people say. But yeah, I really feel like it's important you actually go out and explore the world yourself and make new friends that aren't just on your phone and locked behind a device that you can't see them. Because I have friends from the internet that aren't from the United States in general, so I probably shouldn't be talking to them either because I don't know if they could be someone that they're not and they're pretending that they are.
That's good. Adam.
Going off what you just said, as I said before, it allows connections that could have not been possible before. And personally, I have friends from hobbies, games such as that I speak to regularly now and have deep conversations with, which would have never happened before. And also, the internet is the biggest source of information now. And I remember multiple stories of my parents telling me how, they didn't know what this was or this was, and they had to go off of what their parents before them told them. And it was usually information just passed through word. But now that we have concrete evidence and things that allow us to store and record our information easier, it allows us to focus on the learning part and keep going forward instead of going over what we already know.
That's good. I'd like to talk a little bit about body image and constant comparison. And I think that it affects both genders. I think that this is something that I struggled with when I was growing up, and I cannot imagine, seeing all of my friends post pictures of, let's say, their body or all the cool things that they were doing, and that I wouldn't feel really crappy about my own life. And so, do you struggle with that? Did you struggle with that? And then, do you do anything to control your feed so that it actually serves you instead of makes you feel bad about yourself?
Yeah, I also have experienced things that I've had like insecurities about, like having the perfect smile, having the perfect facial structure. But I want everybody to know, like, you are who you are and you're beautiful in the inside and out. And it's very important that you tell yourself that every single day.
I think that with social media, like not as friends, but as these influencer celebrities, I'm gonna use the females for example. Most of the time, we compare ourselves to somebody who has like the perfect body, but it was like they had a BBL, they did some implants, like or Botox. So it's like not even like they're natural. It's like you see the before and after, you're like, why would you change? So it's like I'm not gonna do so much to myself just so I can look the perfect way when there's no perfect way to look.
Going back into the fact of you saying memes and such, and that's how we share our culture, a main way I use to help me from these insecurities are making fun of them. It's like slang. When people, I forget if people still use this or not, but mogging or looks maxing, slang like that makes fun of those people who want this perfect look, really helps you.
Also related to that, there's been a lot of these platforms which have come under the microscope because of engagement algorithms. And you've heard of terms such as rabbit holes and echo chambers. And when I think about political discourse in our country, as you all know, it's very, very polarized, and it seems like it's going to stay that way because the content that we are seeing caters to what we like to see, caters to what is already our worldview, not necessarily introducing us to other viewpoints that might really serve us. And so I'm curious, as it comes to youth, as it relates to youth culture, do you feel like it's very easy for you to get stuck in these rabbit holes of content to restrict your viewpoint about a specific political party or social issue, or even about yourself and in growing up?
I want to say that social media can be very one-sided. So, I mean, if you don't really fact check, you'll get stuck in the rabbit hole. You will.
And I'm gonna use like TikTok for example. I feel like once you watch one video, for example, on a political side, that's all you're gonna get. You have to go like look up the other part, like she said, because what you watch is what you're gonna get. But if you don't check the other way, the other side of things, you will not see the other point of view.
I wish every adult, was as self-reflective as you, but that's just not the case. And so we need your help. That's such a mature statement to make, and we'd love for you to continue to share that with your peer group because it's so valuable. You don't want to come across as ignorant, and the best way to avoid being ignorant is by, again, just doing your due diligence. Education. So you mentioned mindfulness, Adam, and so I'm curious, are there any apps that any of you use, whether it's for mindfulness or whether it's for any other aspect of life that really, really help you? Because typically when we think of apps, we might think, okay, they're on Snapchat or they're on TikTok. We don't remember often that there's beneficial apps out there, apart from Duolingo.
There's an app called How You Feel. It'll give you daily reminders to check in with yourself to see how you're feeling. And there's a notes app to put like how you're feeling. And yeah, you can download it.
Yeah, that's actually okay. So the How We Feel app is also something that we introduced to our staff and students because we talk about the competencies of social emotional learning, with the first one being self-awareness. But if you don't know how you feel and you're not connected to how you feel, then how can we be aware of others around us? And the How We Feel app is great because, as Aya said, who has used it, it's really, really great because you can set reminders for yourself. You'll get like, oh, it's time to check in. How are you feeling? So if you don't have that person around you, it's the app that will remind you. And the other thing that's great about it is you have different categories to choose from, like high energy, positive, high energy, negative, low energy. And then once you click on a particular feeling, then all of these different emotions come up. And not only do the emotions come up, when you click on it, it gives you the definition. So you're learning vocabulary at the same time, but then it will ask you, for example, what were you doing at the time? Who were you around at the time? And then at the end of the week, it'll give you a chart of your feelings. And it actually shows you, like, you can start to pinpoint triggers. At 4 o'clock on Fridays, I'm around this person who is a major trigger for me. So now I know that that's what causes me agitation, or this is what brings me joy, or when I'm in this environment, I feel my best. So it's a free app. It's really good. And I encourage all of you to use it, as our students and our adults can choose to use that if they want to.
When I was growing up, there was a lot of pressure to be in a romantic relationship. And I imagine it's the same these days. And I don't know if in 4th grade there's that pressure, but I remember having my first crush in 3rd grade and really, really wanting to be dating her as if I could actually do anything with her. We couldn't go to a movie or anything. It was just ridiculous. But my point with this is that we see these relationships be a very big deal in schools and then also online. And so when it comes to romantic relationships, do you think that youth have the best models about what is a healthy relationship and what is a dysfunctional romantic relationship? And how do you see that play out offline as well as online?
I think that we have the idea. Now, we all know that we have like the red flags, the green flags, but we have it, but then once, for example, if he, I'm gonna use a guy, if he mistreat me, I'm gonna ignore it, cause I'm in love, that's my boyfriend or whatever. So I feel like we have those standards, but we don't really follow the standards because we're like overpowered or whatever you wanna say like that.
Or now you're popular because you're in a relationship, and so you don't want to lose it, so you just overlook it. Anybody else?
I have a question. My question is, when an adult speaks to you and give you their hindsight 2020 view of relationships, how is that perceived? I mean, it has to be that relationship you have with them first that you think you'll be more receptive to take the hindsight 2020 about your love affair.
I personally, I love listening to my mom because I feel like she has way more experience than I do. I don't know everything. I feel like I can get information from her that I don't know anything about. So yeah.
What about one of you that think mom is out of her mind?
I don't necessarily think my mom is out of her mind. It's just I'm a man, so seeing it from a female. I'm sorry. I'm a male student, so seeing it from a female's perspective isn't like the best. So I don't normally go to an adult in general. I go to kids that are around my age or young adults. Like my cousin, he's 19. So I like to go to him for relationship advice, especially high school relationships, because high school relationships are so much drama. So I try to like stop. I try to like listen to what they went through, listen to how they handled it, and then I put like my relationship into it, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm having the same issue here. Can you expand on what you said here so I can understand what I'm going through a little bit more in my mind?
Now, we talked about moms, ladies on the panel. Dad talks to you. What's your take from Dad's point of view?
I don't listen to him.
With my dad, I don't really like ask him those kind of questions, but I like study like my brothers, like the way they move, the way they act. And then when they ask me questions about how you should treat a lady, I'm like, please take my advice when it comes to being a girl. So yeah.
I think for me, like I ask my mom for advice, and my mom always gives me advice for everything. Like that's one who I trust. But with my dad, I don't ask him for advice. He just tells me his advice. He kind of forces upon me, and I'm like, no. At the end of the day, he's right, and I'm like, okay, I should have taken your advice. But I feel like I tell my friends, right, about relationship stuff, but at the same time, it's like I shouldn't be going to them because they're probably going through the same thing too and don't know the answer to it. Instead of I should go to my parents who probably had multiple people before, I don't know, and get their actual opinion, their advice because they've been through it. They know the ups and downs, and kind of find out they know a lot about it. So, yeah.
So I think there's some things that, okay, there's red flags and there's, cautions, but if there's a safety concern, if there's, it's not just drama, it's not just disagreement, if there's a safety concern, and not necessarily, what if it's one of your friends? What's your response? What do you do? Do you go to an adult, or do you just encourage them to go to an adult?
So I think when it's like comes to like the friends, like if they go through something, sometimes like I just be like, it's not my business to tell an adult, but I always tell my mom, like, because I feel like I always think my mom has all the answers. I always think that. So, okay. So I just tell her, and then my mom will give me advice that I can tell her, but then same time, it's not my problem to tell the adults, like for example in schools, because I don't want to put her in a position of having to go through probably the law or something that she don't want to. So I just tell my mom, and I let them deal with it.
for me, it's like a fair exchange. Like I said with my older cousin, we have like a whole group chat or whatever, and it's with all of the people that are teenagers and well, teenagers and like young adults at the same time. So it's like a mix in between the two. So when they come to me and they ask for advice, which normally isn't too often, but like but they still do it sometimes. But they ask me for advice less of relationships, but when it is relationships, I try to add it, and I try to do the same thing they do to me. I try to put what I'm going through into what they're going through and connect it a little bit in a way, so I can give them advice, and then they can actually give me advice. So it's like a fair exchange.
Dina, in your work, have you done anything intentional that's been successful related to countering toxic masculinity? Or does it feel like it's so hard, especially when that's all that they're listening to, and then they're sort of cheered on by their bro friends to act in that way?
One thing I can say in regards to that that's somewhat related, I think, is communication and communication skills. And one of the lessons that we did was about the different type of communication. You have aggressive, you have passive aggressive. And we all respond differently. And this is, if there's one thing that you hear today, please listen very closely to this. So many of us and so many of our students have been through trauma. Okay, and trauma can be something as, it sounds like it's simple, but it's very impactful, like verbal aggression, right? And so and I'm speaking from students and things that I've heard, and when we did a previous panel, one of the students said that really resonated with him, and he was a male because he was verbally abused by a male. And when we think about these connections and when we think about these relationships in schools, and you talked about, the masculinity or how we communicate, one thing we have to keep in mind is we don't know what we've been through, right? We don't know what we don't know. And so if I'm dealing with past trauma of a male or even a female that was verbally abusive to me, and I walk into a class and there's a teacher that reminds me of that person or the tone, I'm the type of person, I'm going to be very transparent. If you're raising your voice at me, I don't hear anything that you're saying. And I don't know if any of you, can relate to that, but tone and approach has so much to do with it. And I see some of our students nodding as well, if you want to chime in here. But some people like that tough love, like I'm macho and I'm this and you're gonna listen to me and so on and so forth. But there's so many people out there that respond better to being calm and just, being patient and approaching with that soft tone. Because like I said, we have to assume we don't know. We don't know what's happened in their past, what's happening currently in their lives. And so one approach that I take, as I said, is we talk about the different types of communication. And if somebody comes across like that, like when it comes to a bully, when it comes to machismo, when it comes to all of that stuff, how we perceive that and how we deal with that. If that makes sense.
This generation, this is kind of like the age of the respect you give is the respect you receive. So it's kind of like if you're showing us that, it's okay for us to yell and get mad and be hot-tempered, and it's not all right to say what, but you're saying what. We're gonna treat you with that same attitude, in a way.
I can say I agree with that 100%, especially since when I work and I'm like doing customer service, and I'm like, hey, how are you? And they give me a full-blown attitude. I'm like, okay, I just met you. Now let's calm it down. So I'm like faking a smile. I'm like, okay, what you need? Okay, I'll get it for you, and that's it. But it's like you should like always respect somebody, but at the same time, if you never respect me, why would I give you my respect?
So the schools that we're in, that we are continuing to try to improve, we focus a lot on inclusivity, right? And so maybe it's easier to be intentional about inclusivity as it relates to race or gender, but based on what you've seen just in living your years, are there other areas that we need a lot more work in when it comes to making people feel like they belong, that they're included, whether or not they're visibly or physically different, or is it a different type of difference?
I feel like there's a bunch of programs at my school that have different areas where people can feel included, but there's not enough in a way. Like there's not always a place for a person where they actually feel included or they found their people. I don't think people might connect with someone, but it doesn't mean like it's where they belong or if they feel like they belong there. It really depends, but there's not too much the school can actually do. I know they would love to do something about it, but there's not too much the school can actually do. They can't just have millions of programs and you just go and pick whatever one fits you the most. But I do feel like they should do like a poll or something that helps students pick like what they want in the school and how to make it fit better or whatever, but yeah.
I think that we've seen like the flyers, the posters, but like, oh, you belong, oh, you know, feel free, and it's like that's not helping. Like it's just a paper with some words. It's like no. So like I feel like when we have like those days where we're like we can just hang out with like the students, just go out, because we have, for example, seniors, we have like senior skip day where we go out to eat. That's where we actually connect, talk, and all that. And or when we like go on field trips, especially at the times where we like get, you know, feel like we actually belong together, like it's a good, you know, time.
I understand that people make these programs and allow students to be involved with this, but we're still young. It's hard for us to make choices for our. I understand we know what's good for us and what's bad, but it's hard for us to make these good choices, to be involved in these programs, and actually choose to better yourself using these things. And going off of saying a poster, it shows its existence, but it doesn't really raise awareness. It doesn't have that intent. It doesn't let you speak and allow you to know you need these things or know you want to be a part of these things. So my main point would be, instead of just making these programs, to raise awareness and see if you would actually want to be a part of them.
Ramaj was saying that we need to make sure that every person has their squad or their crew, and what Adam said earlier as well as just now, using technology, whether you build a Discord channel for people who don't fit in any other group to sort of drop into that channel and just find their people. That could be one way that the school supports the use of technology in these pro-social ways to build connection and to foster belongingness. Can you think of any other ideas that you've seen work really, really well, apart from Ramaj, you were telling us about those clubs? Anything else that our attendees can take home where it's like, I could think about suggesting this or implementing this in my school?
Like I said, the polls, I think those are very important because you get to get your students' feedback and what they want and what they want to see for your school and in your school. So I think that's very important.
Maybe if counselors see two students who might get along, you could introduce us to each other. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would be hesitant to do that because it's like, maybe she'll feel like I'm being too forceful or intrusive, but what you're saying is, no, you welcome that.
And what do those polls look like? Is it a paper form that you fill in? Is it an online survey? What does that look like?
Okay, so the polls that we normally do is on Google Classroom. That's like where we have most of our stuff at, like our work and stuff. But they have something called, well, for my grade, it's class of 2029, and they put all of our, like everything that's happening in the school, they'll put it on there, so we can just click it and see what's going on. And they'll put like polls on there, and we click those. It'll take us to, I think, Google Doc. I'm not really sure where it's from, but they'll take us on there. And you can do like a little slide and pick what you want to see, how you want to see it done, or even just the normal polls where teachers give the ideas of what they can put in the school, and the student just pick from there.
And kind of similarly, how do you report concerning behaviors? Is it a walk up to an adult you trust? Is there an anonymous reporting system? Is there some kind of survey that you fill out? How do you get that information to the people who might be able to respond and do something?
There are ways on like Google Classroom where you can privately comment to a teacher and stuff. Yeah.
Our district also uses Safe to Say, which is probably a very well-known program where you can anonymously report something that will go into the hands of the people that need to know so that something can be done about it.
Also, in our school, for our Club for Multicultural Committee, also TOC, we have this thing on the door where we're allowed to like scan it and we could schedule a time to talk with the social worker or someone.
And also because some students might be afraid or hesitant about doing it, so it's okay if you see somebody that's going through something as a staff or a student to go up to them and be like, maybe you should try this. Maybe you can find help here and have a better day on with whatever issue is going on in your life.
This has been incredibly enlightening. I know I've learned so much. I'm sure you have as well. We'd love for you all to think where you are, if there's any questions you'd like to ask, given that we've got this captive audience here, because I'm sure they'd love to share with you of their own experiences and suggestions even. Yes, Johan.
Thank you. When at school do you feel the most powerful?
I feel the most powerful when I get like good grades. When I have like an A on a test or something, I feel the most powerful. I feel like I'm like the best one in there. Like I'm like don't play with me. But yeah, definitely when I get the good grades.
I feel most powerful when we're awarded and like recognized for our behavior.
I feel most powerful like right now actually. Like I'm actually like I'm here in front of all these people right now and I get to speak and stuff like that, and it's like wow, I'm so happy I get the opportunity to do this. So thank you all so much.
I want to hear from you.
I feel most powerful when people come up to me and ask me for advice.
Sorry, I keep laughing every time I get the microphone. I feel most powerful in a moment of academic achievement, a thing that celebrates my hard work, something that shows progress and that I'm there. And I really love going out to activities such as this and speaking my mind and having the thoughts of others. Very collaborative thinking. Thank you for your time.
So this is so valuable. I think maybe we would love to hear some of your thoughts and advice about how to keep you all safe online. What are some things that we as decision makers, policy makers, not Leah, some of the people in this room or some of the people that we report to, what are the things that they can do to help keep you safe online?
Like I said before, moderate. Like make sure you have like a time and date. Like when you're student or child, mostly child because I don't think whatever. Make sure you have like a time or date, like when they can be on the phone and then when they can, or when they can be in a certain app and then when they can. Parental controls, you see what messages they get and what messages are getting sent towards them, or what messages they're sending out also. I think that's it. Yeah.
Also, like you said, moderate, but also let us prove that you can trust us. So.
Yes, please.
I have a question for our panel. We've said a lot. There was like a lot of discussion. If y'all could go like one by one, there's multiple different like levels of professionals in here, but as adults, I know me personally, I tend to forget that I was a child once. So it's like I put my adult expectations on like my children. So I would like to know, like, in a room full of adults, which, so why you not can say it? I just want to know if you could like leave everybody in this room with one thing. So like, just for us to understand you guys better, or make a stronger connection, or just I don't know, make it more welcoming for you. Because like, yeah, we're talking about school, but as we know and as we talked about, it goes beyond just the educational setting.
Getting to know your student, saying, of course, good morning to your student, having a heart-to-heart conversation with your student, putting yourself in your student's shoes, understanding where your student is coming from, understanding what your student is going through, so you can get, I guess, that remembrance that you would once a teen also. Yeah, I think that's all I can really think of at the moment.
One thing I want to leave with you all is that we're human too. This is our first run at life. And we don't have that many years of experience as all of these professionals. But we're human too, and the fact that we make mistakes such as you do may be bigger than you may have. And the world is changing at a very rapid rate.
One thing I'd like to say is, please grow with us. Yeah. Times have changed, and most adults are stuck in generationally blocking us, like putting a barrier before us with age. All we need is for you guys to grow with us, learn with us.
I just want to say, all these students, you guys are so intuitive. You seem so much more intuitive than I've ever been at your age. You guys have a lot of knowledge, and you guys are very well self-aware, not to mention.
Your school district has 2 schools, and without getting into why you chose to come to the academy or go to the academy, I think that you guys have a really good opportunity to keep a good thing going. Why would you encourage other students younger than you, or even your age, to come to the school that you go to now?
Well, why I chose to go to Chester High myself was for character development. And I want a lot of other students to experience it also, because it's very important to me that you get to understand yourself and you put yourself out there more. And I can't find the words right now, but yeah, it's very important for character development to get out there, actually, because I went to an online school all throughout middle school and it really didn't. I was stuck, I think, I was stuck as a 13-year-old for the 3 years I was in middle school because of me being only online. So yeah, I think it's important that you check out Chester High, especially because there's many other things that you can do there.
Now, I'm from the other school, I'm from STEM Academy, but the reason why I did go STEM is because, well, my sister went there. But honestly, there was I seen like a lot of fun activity was there. And I went there, and I'm actually happy I did because I met the people that I did. But it's such a beautiful opportunity. I learned a lot, but also going to the school, it gave me opportunity to, it gives opportunity to like learn CTE, like it helped us with going to colleges. Yeah, yes, thank you. So yeah,
It's career and technology education.
Yes. That's what, yeah, so STEM has that, and so does Chester High, but that's why one of the things why I did go to STEM, because it was preparing me for my college and my career.
I don't know if it's like a selfish thing to say, but like if you go to high school, go for you.
Yes.
Go to graduate, go to become somebody. Don't just go for the fun or the drama. you're making a life for both you and the future and like the generations after you.
One of the other questions I have for you all, and Ramaj, I think you kind of touched on this. So a lot of youth went to online or cyber charter or internet school or whatever after COVID. But a lot of students are thinking about coming back to public school or other opportunities. What is your advice to them when they're making those decisions and considering those options?
I mean, go for it. Like, if it's a thought in your mind and you want to go there and you want to get off the computer for a minute, get off the screen for a time, go for it. Go do what you want to do. Do it for you, like Adea said.
I also say to come as well, because online, when I was online, I hated it. I couldn't interact with anything, and I was just like, I was by myself in this. And it's just so hard to reach teachers online, like when they're not there in person, and you can't really like explain to them how you're feeling because they expect you to understand it.
I must admit that most of my online schooling has been blocked out. I don't remember most of it. And speaking on that, high school now is one of the most pivotal points of my life. It's going to be the reason I have a different personality in the future. It changes how I act, the different opportunities I go through. And it's memorable to have a memorable educational experience, which is why I encourage students to, even though it might be easier to go online, to have the opportunity and choose to do in-person schooling.
We're actually okay on time if there are, so loud. We're actually okay on time if there are any other questions from the audience. Johan?
What do you guys want to do when you grow up?
When I grow up, I want to be a vocalist.
She's a great singer. Come on.
Can we hear a note?
One thing I can say, and we talk about belonging and inclusion, is Chester is a great place to be, not just for the academics and athletics, but also the arts. The arts are what saved me from my childhood, and you'll hear me give this speech, but not putting a plug in or anything, but to give to actually, we have a couple of the students on here that will be performing in Chester's Got Talent, which is a huge talent show for staff and students.
What day is it on?
It's Tuesday, April 14th at 5:30 p.m. No. But because that was a safe haven for me, we talk about coping mechanisms, and not everybody feels comfortable verbalizing about how they feel. You know, I do therapy on the side as well. And you can be in front of a client or a student and they never say two words to you, but you give them a pen and a journal and they'll write about it, or they'll connect to a song and sing about it, or they will dance about it. And allowing, these students the opportunity to be able to express themselves creatively is extremely important, whether it's through fine arts, visual arts, or performing arts. And so we give them the opportunity, and I always tell them, don't forget about me when you make it big on Broadway or sign that record deal. But seeing how they have progressed and broken down that shell, I've had students in the past that had major anxiety and would never get on a stage before, and seeing them get on that stage with confidence and just cheering each other on, talk about a sense of belonging and inclusivity, is absolutely incredible. And so I just wanted to share that as far as another form of coping, and just to say how proud I am of each and every one of them. Like I said, this is not easy, and we've sat down, and some of them were very hesitant, but even being up here with their public speaking, this is something that I will never forget, and I hope it's something that you all and they will never forget as well. if there's one thing that I can say, you know, when you leave here is just this is our future. I believe the children. I'm not gonna say it, but they are, and you know, they constantly amaze me when we sit down and we talk and we have discussions, and just seeing how they are and the public and their intuition and their intelligence and what they had to say. I am blown away by them, and I see them on a regular basis. But I'm so incredibly proud of each and every one of you, and listen and hear them and listen and take that information and act on it. Do something about it. Listen to your students. Student voice is so, so, so important. Whatever those steps are, those polls, those surveys, those focus groups, you know, and use that information, and that's how you're gonna move forward within your organizations and your school districts, coming from the people that are who we serve, right? Yeah.
Thank you again. A couple of quick things that I wrote down a lot of notes. You guys are incredible, first of all, but I just wanted to tell you a couple of things that I learned. So one, I'm gonna take my daughter's phone and moderate it. Wrote that down. Right? My takeaways. I would start a group chat, but no unks and no titis is what I heard. Is that right? All right, cool. I would go touch grass. Am I using that right? And I'm gonna go learn a TikTok so I can do it with my daughter. But using context for the slang that you had said, I think that resonated with me as well. But the biggest thing is having more compassion and empathy and growing with you and learning with you. So really, again, I cannot thank you enough for your time and space, and of course the district allowing us to be here. But again, I want to take a moment to thank our youth panelists, Dr. Hinduja, Leah, Dana, of course, can't forget you, and of course the chaperones who made it possible, all of you, for being here. Your willingness to show up, share your experiences honestly, and speak honestly takes an incredible amount of courage. There are whole communities of adults who would never be able to do what you did today, so thank you so much. Today you didn't just tell your stories, you helped us all get a better understanding of what you as students in your own communities truly need to feel safe, supported, and connected in your schools and communities, and I thank you for that. I said it earlier, but your voices matter, and I'll say it twice. Your voices matter. Your perspectives matter. Your opinions matter. And the insights you shared today will stay with us long after this session today and long after this conference ends. You reminded us today why this work and what everyone in this room does and who it's really for. And that's for you, the youth, as you said. On behalf of the Stronger Connections Conference, thank you for trusting us with your stories, your vulnerabilities, and for being leaders in this space, because you are the leaders of tomorrow. We are incredibly grateful for you. So again, let's give them another round of applause. That'd be great. Thank you.